Wait, did he just give us the high sign? Oh, we're back. We're here in New Orleans at NADA 2025. I don't know how to do it. I'm not good with sign language. Oh, I have talents. Sign language is not one of them. Anyway, I am so excited because I'm here with my best bud, Brooke Furniss. A lot of people say we look like each other. We're twinning.
We are.
I mean, you see the resemblance,
I mean,
right?
I get it.
One of us got the looks, one of us got the brains.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I got either.
We're having way too fun over here in New Orleans at NADA booth 2700. So if you're here, stop on by. And if you're not, we're happy you joined us.
Yeah.
So Brooke with BZ Consultants, by the way.
Yes, this is true.
What's going on, baby? How long did it take you to get to know us?
That is the question of the hour, my friends. No, it wasn't too bad. Like, did we all get delayed? I was in Vegas. And then from Vegas to, I know you weren't expecting that, were you?
Nope.
Yeah, so Vegas to San Diego to here. But I got in late last night, probably 8 o'clock. But
just in time to party.
It is, but then you haven't finished it though, because then you've got an hour commute from the airport to the hotel.
Yeah, it's
and then
still
the Uber mess. Like you gotta duck some people out to get that Uber, man.
But you know what? We're gonna be talking about this. We're gonna look back on this and we're gonna say, hey, remember that time?
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, we are doing great.
Yes.
We're here. We're enjoying it. People are already serving drinks. It's
Mike, is it?
It's happy hour somewhere. It's happy hour in New Orleans. But you know, a lot of people are already like milling around, getting demos, talking to a lot of people. I love.
Obviously.
So how many NADAs is this for you?
Oh, I don't know if I can count that high. Like if I get past my 5 fingers, I honestly don't remember how many I've done. It's probably 10-ish, probably, I'm guessing. Okay. I don't know. I should have known that answer, but I don't.
I know.
But
you enjoy it, right?
Yeah. And I was saying to you earlier when I first got here, I was like, oh, I don't know about the attendance. And all of a sudden looked down the hall. I was like, there's way more people than I anticipated. I love seeing that, let alone the camaraderie. Can you use that word? Let's go the
camaraderie.
There we go. Apparently I do need alcohol, as it turns out. But just of how everyone's been come together and said, hey, you know, whether it's a ride share, I'm going to be this, I'm driving in from how many people drove like 10, 12, 14 hours. It's crazy. So the dedication has been pretty
I've heard hardcore. Some incredible stories, but aside from the weather situation, let's talk auto.
Okay, bring it.
Cars. I feel like you're really, really good at. Oh, come on.
Okay, I'm okay. I'll pass. I'll pass.
You kind of talk on air more than I do.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe tell people what you do, the whole podcasting thing.
Okay.
Facts, not feelings.
So, yeah, and I actually have a really rough time talking about myself. But
really?
I do. It's very little.
Okay, say a little bit and I'll fill in.
Yeah, there we go. So I have a podcast called Facts Not Feelings, which you have been on. Gino's been on it. Sam has been on it. The whole DEP over here has been on it. And we just, anything we can do to move the auto industry forward. That is the biggest thing. Like we've got, obviously, dealerships and dealers will be on there. We've got C-suite. We have BDC. We have anyone that will help, like I said, go back to that, moving the automotive industry forward. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together, and it's going to take the dealers. It also takes the vendors. I'll call vendor partners because I don't like the word vendor. So those partners, those business partners, to say, okay, I do this. Let me introduce you to this, and right there is the perfect marriage. So we just talk all about that. I mean, we've had a lot of fun, as you well know, a lot of laughs on there.
I feel like dealers, you know, they're busy selling cars, you know, and so they really have to rely on really good vendor partners to keep them up to date on, hey, what's the newest tool? What's the newest process we should be implementing? You know, what are the things that we can help them do to help them sell even more cars? You know, make it easier on them. And so I'm big fan of yours. I know you're a big fan of mine.
Obviously, yes.
You know, but the whole point is getting that education into the hands of the people who need it the most.
Amen.
You know, so us being in DEP, being in the technology space, you know, we keep our finger on the pulse of technology.
Yes.
As do you.
I try. I definitely try.
Right. And so it's our pleasure to bring that kind of education to you, right?
It is. And oddly enough, I mean, I get more questions just because as you know, my actual company, I have a podcast, I do have a company, and we're a product agnostic, I don't sell anything. And so it's like, they know they're going to get the unfiltered Brooke, which is always a scary thing that sometimes.
Let me tell you, the unfiltered Brooke, you want her at your party, okay?
It's a lot of fun, as we all know. A lot of things I can't say on air here right now, but the reason for that is they're able to say, hey, does this product work? How's this product? Have you heard about this? And I do and events like this is great because you can go through and say, I don't know a whole lot about you. I've seen you maybe, but I don't know who you are, and just get to know more about it and really be able to ask those questions that a lot of time the dealers don't even know what to ask. And it's not their fault. They just don't know. And it's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I remember I was doing there's a buy sell, and the dealership hadn't thought about a lot of things that were very critical, like DMS information. And so it's just asking those questions that I didn't even think to ask that. And so that's why I'm so grateful to do what I do, because I have the ability to like, oh, based on your products and your people and your processes, this might be a better product over here, but please vet them because maybe the personalities just don't line up. So it's going through all that.
Yeah. Thank you. You give a lot of great advice to a lot of dealers, and I'm happy that Dealer eProcess is on your short list of people to recommend. So thank you so much. Hey, check us out. But that being said, when we're talking about the automotive industry, we actually, as an industry, ended up pretty good in 2024.
Yeah.
The SAR was high, higher than was expected. Now we're coming into 2025. We don't have any inventory problems. We don't have any parts back ordered. We got OEMs getting back to incentives. There's lots of things happening.
100%. So I actually, my lease is up, and so I got, get my new lease.
You had to get a car?
Yeah, I did. I 100%.
Dealers, did you get with it?
So and that was my biggest thing. I'm like, okay, well, how many 0%? And there are some, but I will say, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but I've had so many of my dealers in January. We're like 10 days in, and they're having better month to date than December 1st to 10th,
really?
Which was crazy. And so we started
December's historically very
exactly. And January is always very soft, but we're like, okay, how many people were waiting? And it just rolled over the way the calendar date was. There's some other external factors. Like I have my theories on it, but at the end of the day, I'm like, as long as you're moving more metal, that's all we care about. Are you moving more metal? And how your ROs and dollars per RO, if those up, then that's all that matters. But It's been crazy, yeah.
What do you think dealers need to concentrate on in 2025? I know you always have great advice for dealers.
Well,
there's got to be like one thing you're like, dealers, do it or face your own peril.
Well, as it turns out, this is a great softball into a presentation we're doing soon with a webinar, which is coming up in April.
Yeah,
April.
Early April.
Man, clean data, for the love of all that's holy, is the data hygiene. It's so crazy. I do this so much. Yeah. But I'll say why this is important is that
because it's not sexy.
And no, it's not. And a lot of people will say that they can do it, and that's what drives me crazy. I sit on these calls all the time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we do push-pull integration." I go, "No, you don't." And so asking those questions to figure out if they do, but why that is so important is you're lighting money on fire. It's about, let's say you just use, and I don't want to give the whole webinar away, but here's a fun one. If you only use NCOA to say, oh, national change of address, that's what we're going to use, that only cleans like 30% of your data.
Only 30?
Only 30%.
Oh, man.
Like 20% of your database right now has an open recall. Are we marking them? Do we know how to market them? So going through whether it's email addresses, and I will be the first to say this, if someone asks for my email address and it's like a supermarket, I'm giving you my Hotmail account.
I literally will say, what are you using that for?
Well, I'll just give a crap one. Like, I'm never going to check it anyways.
Right.
So being able to say, okay, well, Brooke put in this. I don't want to erase that, but knowing that she's never going to check that email, but we're going to market to that. Or I moved last year. So when I moved, Amazon knew that I moved before the post office did.
Right. They always do.
They always
Amazon
do.
Knows.
They do. And I say that is that if I only going up in national change, which I did change my address, here's the problem. Come December, I had more people be like, hey, your Christmas card was sent back to us, which I did apply for the national change of address, but I had stuff sent to my apartment. I said it all is that we go through and we spend so much money on advertising. And if you look at stats wise, you're only reaching 50% of your database if you aren't using true data hygiene. So that is something I'm passionate about, but two, it's just,
50?
Yeah. And
that's not good.
So you think of the mailers we mail out, right? Let's say you do 20,000 mailers. My question to everyone watching, are you okay with only 10,000 of them actually reaching their intended market? Rhetorical, because I know you're not going to be okay with that. But we do this all the time.
That's a huge waste of money.
Oh, yeah. Well, even from we'll go digital standpoint on this one. Let's say we're taking those email addresses. We're going to put them back in the machine of Facebook and retarget. You have the wrong email address. That person never checks that email. So going through and looking at all that, it's a big game changer that more and more people need to be doing and get on board with, because the amount of money that you'll save is astronomical. It's crazy. So there's my little spiel of what I personally see.
Spiel. You can hear more of the Brooke Furniss spiel on our webinar that we're doing. Don't worry, it's not today. It's not even tomorrow. It's like a couple months from now. Yeah. So check it out at dealereprocess.com/webinars and sign up for it. Register. It's free. Yeah. It's free, and you're going to get all of this great information, great karma.
Yes. I'm pretty amazing as it turns out.
I mean, she really is. There's really no denying it. And
just trying to keep up with you.
Dude. I love you. I love you. This is Brooke Furniss from BZ Consultants. My name is Eliana. We are going to be coming right back at you with none other than Veronica Dunford, the HBIC at WIA.
I'm glad I went first, man.
I know. So you're going to want to check back in. Now, if you're here, please stop by booth 2700, the Dealer eProcess booth. You love Dealer eProcess, don't you?
I love Dealer eProcess.
Right? There's nothing not to love, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Everyone loves us. Or if you're not here, then please check back in for our next broadcast with Veronica Dunford. For right now, we are signing out from NADA 2025 here in New Orleans, straight from the Expo Hall. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.